I just watched an episode of Game Grumps that will never leave my mind. Ever. The video was taken down immediately after I was done watching it. I just got home from a long day at work, and thought hooray, new Game Grumps video. The title was, Gamegrumpsbarry.avi, which I thought was a little weird. Maybe Barry just got a little lazy or something and forgot to edit the title all the way. I didn't think too much of it. I clicked on it, and it was already fully loaded as if I'd watched it already. The video length was midnight, but the seek bar was non-existent. Again, YouTube has a tendency of fucking up, so I blew it off. But here is where things started to get weird. The intro was very slow, like 0.2x speed, and heavily distorted. Aaron and John's grump faces had no mouths, and had no animations. The intro lasted about 20 seconds, and I was starting to get a little freaked out by this. Maybe this was a horror game, and Barry was setting the mood or something. At least that's what I thought. When the intro was over, there was silence for about 3 minutes. I tried skipping parts, but the seeking bar was gone. I wanted to refresh the page, but I couldn't put myself through that intro again. After the silence, I could hear John's voice over some light static. "Barry! Barry!" he screamed. Not comedic screaming either, I could literally feel the hairs on my arms stand up from it. It seemed like John needed Barry's help. The screen turned to Sonic 06. They were on character selection screen, and they must have just unlocked Silver, because the screen was on him, displaying 0% complete. Maybe this video would get better. But it didn't. The static got progressively louder, as did John's screams for Barry, when suddenly it stopped abruptly. Now the sound was crystal clear. "Barry?" John said. There was the classic Game Grumps yellow text over Silver saying, "I don't care, John." He started to sob nightmarishly. "Aaron, why?" The yellow text displayed, "Good. It's your turn to die now, John." The crying continued, getting worse and worse. John was crying about Aaron, who presumably was dead. The yellow text would get more and more aggressive, saying things like, "You're both worthless, it's time you died, you stupid shit, I own this show, not you two useless retards." At this point I wanted to turn it off, but I just couldn't. The static started up again, which distorted John's sobbing. I could distinctly hear someone open the door to the grump room. John tried to make out words but couldn't bring himself to. The static was wearing down, and I could hear the conversation more clearly. "You pushed him, John. This is your fault. Why did you do this?" John just babbled out words that I couldn't understand. I started crying myself, as if I felt his sadness inside me. His crying was so real, I knew this wasn't some fucked up prank. I started to shake horribly. "Pick up the gun, John." John cried harder. "Pick up the fucking gun, John." At this point, John was screaming at the man in the grump room. "Fine, if you won't do it, I will." The yellow text displayed, "This is my favorite part." John screamed, "Barry no Don dash," and a loud gunshot was heard. The audio completely cut, and more yellow text appeared that said, "R.I.P. Aaron Hansen. R.I.P. John Jafari. February 2013. This stayed on screen for another 10 minutes. I sat there, completely paralyzed. After the silence, the screen went black for a moment, and a picture of Aaron and John on the ground next to the grump room couch faded in slowly. Aaron's face was completely covered in blood, and it looked like he was also crying. John was next to him, with a gunshot in the forehead. They both lay in a huge puddle of their own blood. The static got insanely loud, to the point I had to turn the sound off. The yellow text appeared one last time before saying, "They deserved it." I don't know what I saw. But I'm glad the grumps are still alive.